So good morning, and thank you for joining me for my July press conference. And to my team members here to bail the mayor out when there are some tough questions. I appreciate you guys being here as well. When I first became mayor, I made it clear that the city's primary responsibilities are infrastructure, parks, and public safety. Think of these as basic services residents expect from their city government to provide in exchange for taxes that citizens pay. Over the last year, we have continued to prioritize these three direct services as reflected in our newly released 2024 to 2028 strategic plan document, as well as our 2024 strategic doing framework or action plan. Today, I want to highlight some of the progress in each of these three areas, and I'll open up for your questions. First, infrastructure. The city is currently working on some major road and bridge projects around town, from South Academy to Mark Shuffle to Black Forest and Circle Drive bridges. As our city grows, I'm excited about how these projects will help ensure that it's easier to get around town and in our neighborhoods. And that said, I understand that construction is sort of like a love-hate relationship. We desperately need these infrastructure improvements, and at the same time, yes, it is inconvenient as it makes your drive longer and it makes it harder to access your favorite business. So I want our residents to know that we hear you and we will do our best to minimize the impact to you. I have communicated to my team the importance of working with our residents and our business owners to help minimize the impact to you, and we'll do this to the best of our abilities. So if you have any questions about any specific road construction project, please do not hesitate to reach out to the city. Furthermore, I want to encourage our entire residents to support your favorite businesses that are within this construction zone. I recently did a business walk to visit some of the businesses at South Academy Corridor with some of my team members to just learn more about the impact that South Academy road reconstruction has had on their business. And it broke my heart to learn that, to see how their businesses have been impacted by these temporary conditions. So they need our support. So I encourage you to go out and support them. In the coming months, my team and I look forward to announcing even more exciting projects and great projects that will help improve our communities, roadways, and bridges. Now, transition into one of our biggest infrastructure priorities for the year. This is the renewal of the 2C Road Improvement Program. My team and I officially brought this proposal to City Council yesterday at the work session, and I'm pleased to report that that went well. The next step is the August 13 vote. So without raising taxes, and I want to say that again, without raising taxes, we are seeking to renew the 2C Road Improvement Program for 10 years this November election. Since 2C began in 2015, we've repaved about a quarter of our city's roadway. That's about 1,700 miles, but we still have about 5,000 miles to go. So Colorado Springs, let us continue the good work that we have begun. Let us ensure that our roads are smooth and safe, and let us safeguard our investment for years to come. So without raising taxes, vote yes on 2C this November. Your yes vote is a vote for smooth roads. Your yes vote is a vote for safe roads. Your yes vote is a vote for your quality of life. Your yes vote is a vote for city flourishing. Number 2, parks. July is National Parks and Recreation Month, and I want to take this opportunity to celebrate and honor our dedicated parks professionals who work tirelessly to protect, preserve, and enhance Colorado Springs' most beautiful assets. We are talking about 150 miles of trails, 156 parks, 4 community centers, 128 playgrounds, 7 skate parks, 1 reopened museum, I see you, and 1 indoor ice rink. Yes, it's a lot of asset, and these contribute significantly to our city's quality of life. Our city's quality of life depend on these superheroes. So I'd like to express my gratitude to Director Britt Haley, who is here in attendance, and the amazing Parks, Rec, and Cultural Services team for their dedication and their hard work, which are the backbone of our community's vitality. Their contribution promotes our residents' health and well-being and make our city a better place to live, work, and play. And speaking of parks and promoting the health and wellness of our residents, this past Saturday I attended one of the 1,000 neighborhood gatherings at our very own city park, Boddington Park. It was beautiful to witness residents take ownership of their own well-being and neighbors connect with neighbors here in this city. City Council recently passed the master management plan for the Blodgett open space in Northwest Colorado Springs. And I want to express my heartfelt thank you to the residents for their input and for contributing to the future of Blodgett open space. Parks, Rec, and the Culture Services team is now working on the Fishers Canyon Master and Management Plan. And I also want to encourage our residents to also get involved in that process. We want to hear from you. And we also want to create a plan that balances recreation and conservation. Those two things are of great importance to us, especially in this incredible open space. Heat is normal during the summer, but this year is one for the record books. They say hundreds of U.S. cities are experiencing one of the hottest summer on record. So I encourage families and kids to take a break from the summer heat by exploring the splash pads at our wonderful community parks. My kids and I, we really truly enjoy going out to here in Acacia Park, the Uncle Wilbur Fountain. Here at the heart of downtown. I'm eager to take them to actually Panorama Park this weekend. So I ask that you join me in taking a break from the summer heat and enjoy one of our many splash pads throughout the city. And speaking of Panorama Park, I'm really proud to announce that Panorama Park recently won the first ever People's Choice Starburst Award from the Colorado Lottery, beating 12 other parks located throughout the state. So we are proud that this park in our city continues to just tell great stories throughout the state and the country, and also the community that it fosters, specifically in Southeast Colorado Springs, has been just a beautiful sight to behold. And number 3, definitely not the last, is public safety. This is, for me, one of the most important functions of your city government, of your local government, of your mayor. And I know it's also number one concern for many of our residents. I'm pleased to report that the police department is nearing its authorized strength of 819 sworn officers, thanks to concurrent training academies. I will be meeting soon with both concurrent cadet classes. And I've made a new tradition to meet them while they're training, to monitor, to catch up on their progress, as well as offer words of inspiration. As noted in the city's strategic plan, implementing innovative technology to reduce crime and save lives is a top priority. Therefore, we are implementing drone programs in both the police and fire department. And this last year, we implemented 5 new school zones at middle and high schools across Colorado Springs to improve student safety. And we are planning an additional 5 locations to be implemented before the end of 2024. Earlier this year, I had my first ever telephone town hall where hundreds of residents participated in a conversation on public safety. We got a lot of great questions. But one of the continued concerns that we kept hearing about has to do with homelessness in Colorado Springs. Friends, we have made a lot of progress over the last year, but there's still a lot of work to be done. That is why I am proud to announce that we are currently in the process of developing a new long-term homeless strategic plan. This plan will reflect our community's priorities and outline key strategies to address the critical concern of homelessness in Colorado Springs. We recently met with our nonprofit providers to receive feedback on this new plan, thanks to the leadership of my acting chief, Katie Sunderland. And in the coming weeks, we're going to reach out to businesses and residents to gain their feedback as well. And the reason why we do this, it's important that the actual plan that shapes how we respond the plan is reflected by the community's priorities. For a little sneak peek, I can tell you that the plan will focus on 6 critical areas. Number 1 is to increase street outreach and availability of need-based shelter options. Number 2 is to enforce and to protect our people, property, and environment. Number 3 is to continue to provide employment opportunities for the unhoused. Number 4 is to prioritize homeless preventative efforts such as mental health. Number 5 is to increase the number of very low income affordable housing units and housing units with supportive services. And number 6 is that we'll continue to provide transparent, proactive, and accessible communications to the public. This plan will likely see some changes over the next coming week, but it's important that we are reviewing our current policies to assess what is working, what is not working, and where we should invest, and sometimes where we should not invest our limited resources. But for now, you can count on the continued work of our fire department's homeless outreach program, our police department's homeless outreach team, our neighborhood services cleanup team, our urban trail rangers, and our partnership with many local providers who continue to provide shelter, health, and work opportunities. This will continue to be an all-out effort to ensure that homelessness is rare, brief, and non-recurring. So there you have it. That's your update on the city's top 3 primary responsibilities to our residents. We will have so much more to share in the upcoming months, but for now, we will continue to work together to ensure that Colorado Springs is a safe, economically prosperous, culturally rich, inclusive, and a vibrant world-class American city on a hill that shines brightly. For more information on these 3 priorities, and our plans to achieve this dream of a city, visit coloradosprings.gov to access the 2024 to 2028 strategic plan. We are Colorado Springs, onward and upward. At this point, I'll open it up for your questions. Yes, sir.
Last year, the 3 main things you talked about, plus many of the other departments of the city, took a bit of a budget cut because of the increase in tax revenue. Some of that was wanted by dipping into the reserve fund. We're going to be hearing about next year's budget pretty soon. Any idea where we're sitting, looking forward to next year?
Yeah, that's a great question. We just kicked off the budget process. In fact, I believe we're either this week or next week. Okay, this week we'll be having the budget prioritization meeting, and that's where my team of leaders come together and we do the hard work of here's a wish list, everything we need for Colorado Springs to be that ideal city. But we take that and we balance it with our budget realities, and so far in terms of 2024, I would say we're pretty much flat. We're pretty much where we need to be. So, but that's as of, this is July, so that's as of June. So we don't know how. So that makes it tricky. We don't know how the rest of the year is going to look. But moving forward, we will probably implement the same wisdom from last year, and no increases. But we will, at the same time, we'll prioritize those top 3 areas as best as we can, because it's important that our community is safe. We're caring for our infrastructure and also caring for our cities' parks. So more to come on that. But I can't speak ahead of the meeting we're having this week. And so after this week, we'll probably know a little bit more in terms of where the priorities are moving forward. But let me end with this. I will tell you that what I've told the team so far, my priorities, my budget priorities will reflect, one is the strategic plan, because that is our Bible, that is a playbook that directs where our investment should be. 2, it's going to also prioritize the needs and concerns from the community. So when I get phone calls about about homelessness. So you bet I'm gonna prioritize that, and some of that is connected to also our parks, and so investment in that too. So that's an example of that will definitely be at the top of the list in terms of those decisions of what to prioritize. Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
The Amara annexation is being discussed in the city council today. What is it, what do you think of such a big area potentially being added to grow this city?
Right. It sounds like you've been paying attention to the news. There's I mean, one of my job as mayor is to balance the need to grow with how we grow. I've always said intelligent growth is the way to go, and then the other part to also consider is just like everything that we do, it has to be done through a fair, transparent, and democratic process because it's part of what makes America so great. The mayor single-handedly doesn't have the ability to pick winners and losers. I shouldn't. You don't want me to have that much power. But with the Amara project, it's the deliberations are happening today, and you're going to be hearing arguments in favor of why that project needs to be, why we need to annex, and mostly because of the need for more housing. But you're also going to hear a lot of concerns about expanding because of our limited resources. I trust the process, and I believe at the end of the day, my fellow council members will make the right decision on that project. Let me do him, and I'll come to you. Yes.
On a slightly less serious note, the Olympics are starting this
Yes.
weekend, and we are Olympic City, USA. What is the city planning to do to capitalize on that and build the city's brand as Olympic City, USA?
No, that's a great question. In my perfect world, we would have enough money and we'd all go to Paris together. I mean, in Colorado Springs, we'll be represented as Olympic City, USA. Actually, I feel like the mayor should be in Paris. I mean, but I am looking forward to it. We have a lot of great activities planned. I actually expect to see some out of town visitors coming to Colorado Springs for the July 27th Summerfest. It's a big downtown celebration with a lot of Paris themes and a lot of live music and just things and activities for families and people of all ages. So we're looking forward to that big celebration. The Chamber and EDC is having a gala that evening, so we're primed, pumped, and ready. But the reason why I said I expect some out of town guests to visit, I recently participated in a Bloomberg Harvard program for it's a prestigious program. Not sure how I got selected. They pay for all of it, so it's at no cost to the city. But it's 40 mayors from around the globe. About 25 of us are from the U.S. And I wore my Olympic City USA hat, and I had the actual lapel pin for this year's Olympic, and it primed a lot of great questions about Colorado Springs and this Olympic identity. So I got to tell the story about how it started, the training center, the museum, and on and on and on. And a few of them have said, you know what, we got to come out and check it out. So what being in a year of Olympics and sharing this identity, one of the most popular logos and brand in the world, with the actual organization, when the city shares this identity, it just gives us a really unique opportunity to put Colorado Springs on the map. So we're working with partners, Visit COS and others, and many residents. A song has been written about this movement. I'm writing a letter to a lot of the athletes competing this time around that are connected to Colorado Springs. So they'll all be receiving a letter and a pin. And so we're definitely wrapping our energy around this opportunity, and I expect great dividend for our city, especially this year. Yes, sir.
I know you opposed 2424 Garden of the Gods, and I'm just wondering if the recent city council approval of Harris West development with similar safety concerns, how you kind of reconcile those two developments for Colorado Springs, and whether you see this as intelligent growth.
Right. So thank you for your question. And first of all, I did not oppose it. I was not in office when that decision was made. And that's a land use decision that council makes. And early, I stated that a mayor should not be in the business of picking winners and losers. Now, that said, the similarities between both projects, but they're also very different, both projects. And one of the things I'd like to remind our residents is that there's a democratic process of how these projects are even moved forward. So they're land use decisions that that they have to check those boxes before they move forward to a group of local residents that serve on behalf of other local residents, and that's called the Planning Commission. And that passed through the Planning Commission before now it's at City Council. So as mayor, I'm monitoring the process. I'm ensuring that my team and I are doing right by the residents of Colorado Springs. Again, not picking winners and losers. I do hear the frustration of our residents. Being in a neighborhood too, and a homeowner, I want to ensure that the character of my neighborhood is maintained and the quality of the neighborhood is still there, and that's what I hear from the pushback and the frustration. But I want to encourage our residents to show up, to speak up, because that influences how your peers make those decisions, but whether it's Planning Commission or even our elected city council members. So make sure that your voice is heard as those decisions are being made. Thank you all. Appreciate your partnership. And go Team USA.